last time you ordered takeaway food? Now, 40 years ago, takeaway food simply did not exist. People couldn't afford to eat out. 10 to 20 years ago, takeaway food was seen as a special treat on the rare occasion that on a Friday the family might get pizza or fish and chips to consume at home. McDonald's delivery launched over 20 years ago in the USA, and since then food has shifted online and is now being ordered through apps like Dora, Deliveroo, Uber Eats and other growing delivery food services. These apps are most definitely changing the way in which food is bought, consumed and distributed at the hands of a phone.
Mamamia did a report last year in 2016 claiming that Generation Y is spending up to $200 a week. Now, if you think that's crazy, then perhaps you should meet Mitchell.
This insight came about after witnessing my housemate's unusual eating patterns, and I sat down with him to have a chat.
What would you say your budget is for takeaway food in general each week?
$300.
Cook, or did you guys eat out or a bit of both?
Sit around the table and cook. Takeaway food probably every night. Uber maybe 3 or 4 times a week. I can cook. Make it rain. Toast. Sometimes. Never.
You've never done a big grocery shop? That's
not a week worth of food, no. I shop for what I need at the time. Whatever I feel like. It's an app, I just slide it through until I see something that looks good and then I click on the menu.
How far away do you live from like restaurants and cafes?
There's restaurants, I don't know, 2-minute walk probably. Yeah, I actually know where the food comes from most of the time. Nothing about it. I don't know, I don't like it. I just I don't want to sit at a table by myself, or I don't like TV, so I can put on YouTube or Netflix or whatever.
Do you feel like you miss out on the social element of eating?
I like the social element of eating, it's just at night in the weekdays. I mean, I'm not going out for dinner every night. I could buy the ingredients and I could probably, if I'm cooking for one person for one night, I'd spend the same amount as if I bought it. So why not buy it?
Well, perhaps not. I added up an ingredients list of how much it would cost to make pad thai for 4 people with a total of $15.72. I can tell you now that living with Mitchell, I've only ever seen him cook 3 to 4 times, and none of the items on this shelf are his. What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever ordered on Uber Eats?
I get a lot of shit for it, a cheese toasty. And I've got hot chips before and ate a couple of them and that's about it.
How much did you pay for the toasty? Do you remember?
$3 or something.
$3 for the toasty?
$3 for the toasty and $5 for the delivery, so $8.
Okay. So you would definitely agree that it's more a convenience over cost thing?
100%, yeah.
Do you kind of feel like that's where we're heading?
Right at the start you said, did you get takeaways as a kid and was it special? And when you said you had that one takeaway and you wanted to have it the next night, and your parents said no, you probably thought, yeah, I'm going to have takeaways every night when I grow up. And I'm exercising that right now.
Forget menu flyers left in the letterbox and say hello to app-based food services. Uber Eats first launched in Melbourne in April 2015 and since then has expanded to cities all around Australia. Some would argue this is lazy, but others believe it is a reflection of restaurants keeping up with the consumer needs and demands. Not only this, but Menulog, Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Foodora are putting increasing pressure on big supermarkets, and the more people order online, I guess the less people are shopping in the supermarkets. We contacted these delivery-based services here in Sydney, and Foodora was the only one that responded with these stats. Contrasting to Mitchell's behaviours around delivery services, meet Angela.
I've heard of them, yes. Never used any of them. Not really. Do you ring someone up? I don't really know.
Themselves.
I would think that was extravagant. When I was a child, we didn't really have takeaway. And then maybe as a really special treat we'd have like fish and chips on a Friday night or something. No, you would have to go in. You would go in, you would go up to the counter, you would order what you wanted at the counter, and then you would wait and you would be served your meal pretty much before the next person ordered. Very rarely did we ever have takeaway pizza when the children weren't involved. But on a normal circumstance, if you live close to lots of food outlets and stuff, I don't see why you can't walk out and get it. Also, to have delivered things like toasted cheese sandwiches and stuff, I think is a bit extravagant and silly. We get takeaway, we do still sit around the dinner table and eat it. So we still make it a meal where we set the table and put out the plates and the food's in the middle of the table. I think it's sad, yeah, that people don't cook as much at home. I hope that we don't all lose the art of being able to cook something, or I'm a little bit of the generation where you can rustle something up if you have to from the fridge. But as the new generation comes through who may become more reliant on just getting food home delivered, then I would think maybe in the next generation restaurants may suffer a little bit because of food home delivery.
I had a chat to some UNSW students and this was their response.
It's definitely more convenient if you can order your food online and have it delivered to you. You wouldn't have to go out, you wouldn't have to like waste time kind of thing. I think there should be a balance.
What if I told you that someone spent $350 on takeaway food or delivery food each week?
Oh, that's a lot. Like, I hope Uber Eats can help them, but yeah, that's quite a lot of money.
Each week?
Yeah.
That's quite excessive.
Like once a week?
No, I mean, when I order, my whole family usually
sits around and eats it. Yeah.
Like, it would be faster for them to walk than for me to go on a bike from where I was to pick it up and then go to their house. They don't make much money from it, but otherwise people don't really go out and get takeaway in the same sort of way. Not that people are cooking more, but they just rely on these services. I think people wouldn't be going to these restaurants otherwise, but so for that, because they've created a marketplace, that's the way that it is now. It's changed the landscape.
Yeah, oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah, but then we still eat it together.
Yeah.
Still would walk it ourselves.
To be fair though, I will say back home, like if we get like McDonald's, my sister loves watching TV when she eats, so she'll like beg my mom to get McDonald's and watch TV. But my mom will say no, sit at the dinner table there. And McDonald's is directly across the street from there.
Yeah.
And there was an Uber Eats bag in the corner with McDonald's in it. And I just had no idea who would Uber Eats across the street.
It's
sort of opportunistic, I guess. It's like people can do it, so they do.
I didn't want
Yeah, well, I had a lot of deliveries where like I'd ride for like 2 minutes and I'd just make $9 like that because people are so lazy and they wouldn't like walk, I don't know, 100 meters to order food. So yeah, I don't know, that sort of blew my mind.
So I've just jumped in the car and on my way to Gloria's Cafe in Petersham to have a chat to the owners about how Uber Eats and delivery food industry has affected their business. It's important to acknowledge that not only has these delivery services impacted the way we consume food, but also the way in which food is prepared and distributed. So let's go take a look and see what he has to say.
For a while now I've been thinking about doing home delivery. I've had a few people ask me and I didn't want to get extra staff to have to pay extra overheads. So Uber Eats approached me and I like the concept of not having to actually pay for the staff, to just pay for the actual service whenever it's used. So I started using it. Everyone seems to be in a hurry and people don't have time to sit down anymore, they don't get time to enjoy food anymore. So I think for Australia it hasn't really affected us much. I think it's just been, it's evolved into this stage, but it's just been happening for quite a while. At the moment, it's doing well. It's doing well enough to be worthwhile considering actually getting my own driver.
Believe it or not, being a 22-year-old in 2017, I actually love to cook and I'll take the time out of most of my days to cook and prepare my meal. I never actually used Uber Eats, Deliveroo or Foodora, despite living in the hustle and bustle of Sydney. But for the sake of this research, I'm going to download the app on my phone and give it a shot.
And I'm kind of overwhelmed by the amount of choice on here. Nights a week, so and the delivery fee is $5. That's $25 a week times 52 a year, which is $1,300 a year people are spending.
I think if there's one thing I've learned from this experience is that food is becoming digitalised. Well, I guess you can say it already has. I mean, you look at Instagram and Facebook and you look at the amount of food online. I mean, someone will go to a cafe based on the fact that they've seen one photo.
The reality is that we're always going to eat in order to survive, so the demand for food is always going to be around. Home delivery is undergoing digital disruption through the rise of these app-based services, and as a result, it's altering the traditional and social elements of food consumption.
Time, where's that going to lead us? I mean, it's sad for me to think about the fact that maybe my kids won't even know how to cook. I mean, there's nothing quite like preparing a meal and then sharing it, knowing that like you've made it, you know where it's come from, and that's something that always stayed true to me. Whether others, I'm not sure. Oh, there's the door. I think my food's here. Sorry.